Hello, we are finally live. And today we are doing another live audit session, and it will be Itamar, who you can see there, and myself this week. Just two of us going through your websites and giving you some good, honest feedback on your website, whether it's SEO related, if it's aesthetically horrendous looking, if the right calls to action are not there. We will have a look and give you some good, honest feedback. So make sure that you do put your websites in the live chat. If it doesn't allow you to put your full URL in, just put in mywebsite.com, just spell it out, and we will be more than happy to go through your website as normal. We do have Mr. Naga and R. Rajub. Both there. Good to see you guys. But while we're waiting and people coming in to the webinar, just Itamar, what have you been up to in the last week? Is there anything cool going on in your life, or fun, or anything exciting you can tell us about?
I feel like my life's always fun. Like it kind of just gets dull telling people about, the kind of thing where it's like, you have fun things going on, but then you don't really want to tell people because then it just makes you seem like you're just very, I don't know, maybe it's like an egotistical kind of vibe. I don't know. Some people kind of just avoid kind of sharing what they're up to, which I completely get. But I mean, to be honest, nothing too fancy. I'm more just intrigued about StreamYard. These layouts are changing. What's going on here?
I'm just fucking around with colors. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why pink is the color of choice. I was trying to make it red.
I remember that we had that thing on SEO Tells, and you brought up like pink dresses or something. So there seems to be a consistency here, Craig, with your favorite color.
I like a pink dress. I'm not going to lie. But nah, I'm just fucking around with it while we're here. And obviously, Mr. Tommy Finnan is in. Good to see you, mate. Just getting the right colour for Tommy there. Thomas, Andy Woolley, The Risk Barn, mapsofarabia.com will be the first website. But guys, please do also make sure that you do give us a like and subscribe. Also give our old pal Itamar a bit of love in his YouTube channel. He's also regularly posting other great content, which you can go over and see if you go to YouTube and just stick in Itamar Blauer, Blauer. Is that right?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. It's one of those fucked up names, But,
yeah, maybe it's worth also putting on the banner down there, just so if people come in, they can know, like, just to put their websites down as well. So that you don't need to repeat it. It might just be easier.
Create a banner. Give us your website URL. I'll just do this live. Show you guys how easy it is. Give us your website URL. Ticker. Create a banner, create a ticker. I have no idea what I'm doing here, but yeah, give us your website URL anyway. But what we'll do is we don't want to keep talking garbage. Australia land, Gary Patterson's here. Furquan, good to see you. Mr. Paul Hogden.
Hey, cheers, Paul.
How much did you slip Paul for that?
Absolutely zilch, mate.
I think you spelled Craig wrong, Paul. Good to see you from California, the SEO video show. That was a good show, man. Paul Andre, the production on that was insane. But anyway, not talk about that stuff. Let's look at mapsofarabia.com.
Yeah, let's give it a go. All right, let me share my screen here so you guys can see what's going on. All right, so Maps of Arabia, and I kind of didn't understand it at first, like the name, and then when I got to the homepage, I'm like, okay, that makes a bit more sense. But this is a local SEO agency in Amman. I Hopefully I pronounced that place right. But I don't know, I got a bit confused just because Maps of Arabia to me felt like I was kind of going to see, you know, a kind of travel guide site. But obviously this is a local SEO agency. So let's start right off the bat. I mean, you know, it's a very, very generic kind of image here. I mean, I don't know if, you know, if this is Arabia. I'm not, you know, my geography is not that great, but, you know, I feel like right off the bat, you know, you've got the CTA there, which is fine, but I just feel like it seems that things are a bit all over the place in the sense that, you know, there's a lack of consistency in terms of the, you know, the typography, in terms of colors. It just kind of feels like things have been like just blasted altogether. Also, this is the wrong spelling for your. It should be Y-O-U-R without the apostrophe and without the E. And obviously we've got a video here, and I mean, I'm a big fan of embedding videos and stuff like that. Obviously this is self-hosted. So that's good. We've got a video here. I don't think it has sound, so that's a bit unfortunate. It'd be best to have videos with sound, right? And then just scrolling down, I mean, again, another very generic image. It's hard to read this kind of text. Does it need to be like that, like one word per line or 2 words in this case? But, you know, let's just keep on going because, you know, there is a lot of content on this homepage. I just think that in terms of the way it's been designed, I mean, these images are just very like, these images don't scream SEO agency to me. And obviously that's the kind of vibe you want to get, right? But obviously you've got the services over here. So you do have bits of content, which is all well and good. But I think just generally, you know, you've got to be more consistent. I think when you look at a website, especially an agency, it's a business, right? You need to have some kind of consistency in terms of the way pages are laid out. I mean, you know, if I'm looking through this page here, I mean, there's all a bunch of small text here. There's not really any call to actions. You know, you've got a massive, massive image over here. And if I click on it, it's just going to take me back to the homepage. So you need to think of the user experience in this case, think of the design a little bit. And generally, yeah, I mean, you've got content. Obviously, I don't really know how much, like where your blog is. Let's see if you're writing a lot of blog posts. So let's just go on to this one. You know, you've got content, you embed some tweets in there. That's all well and good. But yeah, I mean, as well, like these headings as well, it's just, you know, you got to make it look nicer for people because I don't, you know, no one's going to really read all of this. If I'm perfectly honest. But Craig, I've kind of mentioned a lot of things there. Anything that you want to pick off right off the bat?
I mean, I think you know, pretty much what you've said, it covers it all. You know, I think sometimes, you know, even on the About Us, there's, you know, big images and you know, and they're taking a bit of time to load. So, you know, just do consider that. You know, if I go to, let me share my screen just so that you can see what I'm talking about. Give me a second, share screen. So if I go to the About Us page, you know, it's big images like that there are taking a bit of time to load. It's slowing your load speed down. Is there any need for the use of those images? I'm not so sure. It's slowing your website down. As Itamar says, I'm not too sure about the branding. You know, Maps of Arabia, you know, and you've got a big Arabian map here and stuff like that. It doesn't smack me as a digital website, you know, when you hear the name as well. And I think that's quite important because if people do stumble across you, if they're Googling something like digital marketing Arabia, could that name potentially be stopping people from clicking on your website? 100% it can. And I think it's one of those websites that's relatively new. It doesn't have a huge amount of organic keywords ranking or referring domains. You do have some positions in the country of Jordan, you know, such as SEO company, and stuff like that. But you're also, you're ranking well for travel agency, so you need to. I know that's probably a case study of some kind, but your blog posts are not yet pulling through, which they may be relatively new, but that's a bit of a worry that none of that stuff's coming through. Backlink profiles weak. I would work on that, but again, it's hard to critique that because it could be a very new website.
Yeah, it's a crap ton of links, though, isn't it? I mean, you've got about 200 links per domain on average.
Yeah, and that's not good. Try and get as many different referring domain names as you possibly can. But again, we don't know how long this guy's been building those links for. It does look to me as if it's someone just starting out. And I've got to be honest, the font usage and stuff like that to me looks very 2003. That's just my opinion on it. I think it does look like an older website rather than a kind of up-to-date, modern, quirky agency. Not that my website's of any great standards, but mine's is more an informational website. But if I was an agency, I would want quirky, cool, slick, more modern kind of fonts used as well. But overall, it's all right. It's a great starting point. I just think you do have to consider the other stuff. And you've got a lot more content to do. Looking at your blog, you're talking about John Mueller suggests ignoring internal linking over analysis, the state of local search in Arabia, the unprecedented Google update turned out to be a bug.
Yeah, do you know what?
You're not targeting keywords there. These things are fine if you get massive people coming onto the website, but that is not going to rank.
But do you know what I'd add to that though as well? It seems like these blog posts are very kind of newsy. I mean, you got to think of who your target audience is. It just looks like you're doing like another SE roundtable kind of blog where you're just putting out news about, John Mueller says this and Google's update turned out to be a glitch or a bug. I mean, you got to think, is your audience going to care for that kind of content? You're not really optimizing for any keywords, but you need to think if you're a businessman in Ammon and you want these services, you look at the blog post, you're thinking, well, who the hell is John Mueller? Like, no offense to the guy, but you got to think of it from the perspective of your audience when you are creating this content. And the other thing that I would mention as well is if I just share my screen real quick once more, and this is something that Craig and I have pointed out in the past, but you've got an agency site and in the contact us, and it's telling me that your location is literally just a city in Jordan. I mean, you've got a phone number there, sure. You've got an email there, sure. But if you look at this listing here, just let me refresh it so it comes up again. But all it's saying is Saudi Arabia, right? So if I'm thinking, all right, if I'm going to part with, hundreds or thousands of dollars or whatever the currency is, and all I know, I don't even know where this business is. All I've got is this kind of empty list, like map over here. You need to think about how people are going to behave or react when they see your website. And I feel like many people get mixed up about this, and it's really important. Like, you can have such a well-optimized website, but you need to really consider how a prospective customer is going to view your site and think, is this legitimate? Do I want to actually spend my money here? Because, these are some red flags. So definitely have a physical address in there, have some images of people, because you've got no images of anyone to do with your company. So you do really need to make it feel more real, because at the moment, it just looks like anyone from anywhere in the world could have just put up this site and you don't really know where to trace it to.
Yeah. Good points, and hopefully you can take some of those on board and continue to evolve and develop that website. Now we've got Biz Tour here. Gary Patterson's asking, is that a PRS I see in the wall? I don't know.
People keep asking if it's a PRS. This is it's a Schecter Demon 6, I believe. But similar.
I have no idea what a Schecter Demon 6 is, but hey ho, sounds cool. Dimitri says, you guys are funny. I'm funny, he's not. Nah, I'm only kidding. He's kind of a wee bit funny sometimes. But good to see you guys. Someone else is giving some feedback. The dude is trying to sell rank and rent SEO services while having a 2003 website. So yeah, I think a better template, better font usage is good. But let's go on and give Imran Ali. He's the next one that's copping the abuse. Imran, I don't know what you've let yourself in for. So let's have a look at specsphere.ca.
It's always a good start when you phrase it like that before we take a look at a site, isn't it? All right, here. So let me share my screen. This website did take a while to load, actually, but it looks to me like an e-commerce site. Specs, I assume that's like glasses, right? Like spectacles.
Come on, of course it's bloody. What else can it be?
Oh, well, I'm just saying, specs. If you're a tech person, specs is like specifications, right? But anyway. Yeah, so a glasses e-commerce site. Let's have a look here. I mean, yeah, I don't really know like how, in terms of how vibrant these kind of, when you sell glasses, how vibrant can it be? I mean, you've got the gray kind of background color here with some nice looking glasses. So I think the image is okay. Obviously, you stated that the Canada's best eyeglasses online store, Glasses Online Canada. All right, so let's have a look here at this. Okay, interesting. Is this gonna? Okay, so that's just the loading thing over here. So I'm just looking at the URL structure here. When I go onto men, it's like buy/eyeglasses/men's. Men's eyeglasses here. Okay, so I see what you're doing. Okay, it says try on. Is this going to be some augmented reality thing? Because that seems awfully interesting. So I'm just really curious, like what happens if you try this? Nothing's virtual. Oh dear. Oh wow. Okay.
What do you mean? Oh dear, that's quite cool.
Yeah, I know, but I thought it was gonna be me. Like I thought it was gonna use my camera, which it didn't. But okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I'll give you that. It's a nice bit of tech. But yeah, I mean, it's an e-commerce site. You've got a blog up here just in your tabs, and that's like just the only thing really you've got there. But I mean, this blog page, you need to sort it out. Hopefully it's just doing that for me. Maybe that loads up better for you, Craig. But I mean, no one's going to click on any of this stuff. And like, you should sort out this blog page. These images are massive compared to and the text is way too small to read. And, obviously, do you really need like this tab over here, sign in, sign up? And the blog, could you not maybe incorporate that into the main primary menu that you've got over here? But, I don't know. In terms of, okay. Hold on a sec. Hopefully that's okay. But like I said, in terms of, just looking at it, I can't say there's too much wrong with it. I think it's quite a neat UX kind of thing that you can have that kind of virtual trying on glasses and stuff. But obviously, I mean, the site takes so long to load. And I haven't checked it up on like GT metrics or anything like that, but it just takes a while. Maybe it's just because of your servers, maybe just in Canada. And there's a 404 here that I'm trying to see what I tried to do. Can't remember what I clicked on, but it was 404. And I think something really important as well, especially when you've got e-commerce sites, because you'll tend to have loads more URLs, is to check the indexed URLs, but also just click through the different pages and the different links, the different internal links on your site. Make sure that they all work, because it is really important. You might end up finding that you've got some broken internal links that you need to fix. But apart from the site speed, apart from that blog section as well, I think in the process of getting people to buy this stuff, I think it's quite interesting. So Craig, what are your thoughts on this? And also it'd be interesting to see where they're ranking in terms of targeting these keywords for Canada.
So so in terms of the website, I'd reiterate pretty much what you said. It is slow loading. It's what you do need to consider is you could be in some cheap server running, with running an e-commerce store off of something that's, got the the capacity of an iPhone or something, and especially if that's Magento or whatever, they are more server intensive. So have a look at that, because if you get 5 people on buying glasses, your website's going to crumble if we can barely crawl it. But going back to the, I think, the layout and everything else is fairly decent. One thing I don't really like is this customers just love us right there. Can that not be further down and, put the buy glasses online and shop now? That should be the first thing people see, and maybe, take that customer stuff away. I just think, it's just right in your face straight away. Our customers love us. Like, who cares? Let's see what you've got first. But in terms of current rankings, the person said that they're stuck at the top of page 2 for something like Glasses Online Canada. They're stuck in position 12, which is obviously got 4,800 search terms. And you can see that they do rank. They're teetering on the brink of page 1 for a decent amount of search terms there with decent volume. And for me, one of the biggest things that you're not doing is building proper backlinks. And you've got 92 referring domain names. Now, it's not about the volume of backlinks, it's the quality of them. Your DR is only 9. Now, if your DR is only 9 and you have 92 referring domain names, then I want to know what crap you're getting. And, these are all garbage that are not passing a whole bunch of juice. And also what you want to do is try and get more relevance as well in there. And, you've got a DR of 9, which is not a great score. I think someone with a bunch of citations will get a DR 9 if the citations are right. You've got a handful here of some high-powered stuff like bloglovin.com, which is fine to get, but you need to do more in the link building side, because many of these links were done some time ago, and you don't look to be active when it comes to link building. And as a result, your DR is not going up, your traffic's not going to go up a great deal, and you're always going to stagnate. And that's, pretty much where you're at and have been at since 2019. Now, I would bet my bottom dollar that's when you started to build links. You got quite a lot of traffic, and you got away with it, and then you stopped, and it slumps away down. So, you see what happens when you build links, and then obviously you're stopped and you start to slip away. You need to be building more links, more relevant links, more powerful links, and doing it more frequently, month on month on month on month, to build up that power and authority. Then what happens is, obviously, you've got good rankings, you're getting all the engagement signals, and your website just goes from strength to strength. But I think, glasses, there's definitely good there's good opportunity there. You're not a kick in the backside away from having a good website. And if you can nudge a few of those, 5 or 10 of those, search terms that have got 5,000 searches a month onto page 1, it's going to make a massive difference to your traffic. And that is the bottom line. You just need more links, and obviously to polish up the website and the speed, and you will be, I think you have a very good business model there, and I think it's got the potential to do well. Everyone, well, not everyone, but every second person's wearing glasses these days, whether it's for cosmetic reasons or medical reasons. So yeah, nice website. I think just a few tweaks here and there and some link building, and you will be in a good place. We've got Randy Rhodes here. Andy Woolley saying about Specsphere, give me the popular or featured products above the fold, biggest proposition you sell. Exactly the point I was trying to make. Shows what you sell. Is what I would be expecting to see there. Paul Hogden, who also wears glasses on the spec site. If you think about testimonials, they are needed further along the buying journey so you can go further down the page. I think that's what people want to see, what your offering is first before they see our customers are all happy. So
yeah, it seemed a bit forced, didn't it? I think as well.
I just would be like, whoa, fuck.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, one thing though, I know you're going through the comments. One thing I'd add and reiterate your point, because I think you're on the brink of getting onto page one for these keywords. So if you improve your link building, get the quality relevant links, and then that'll push you up to page one. But I still think, even if you're on page one and your website is still really slow, that's going to cause a lot of users to bounce. And I think when you add up, ranking in page one, getting traffic in, but people leave the site because they realize it's way too slow, you're going to lose money, and that money is going to go to your competitors. So I think definitely like the priorities really should be just speed and building the links, because if you manage to get that website like a few seconds to load, a few seconds quicker, and you build the links and you get on page one, like you're going to get so many sales just from that alone. But yeah, I just thought I'd just add that in there.
Add that in. No, good point. Good point. Ahmed Dar, we do have your website. We will come to it in a moment. We do have, I believe it was Mr. Paul Hogden. Not sure if you saw my URL type in flock.marketing. So let's give Paul some love here, because Paul shows up regular and is obviously helping the others as well. So let's go for what Paul has. And nice website from the start, Paul, but I'll let you go, Itamar. Do your usual.
All right. So this is obviously a site about web design for businesses. So looking here, we've got this chatbot, the Facebook. I've seen this before, Messenger chatbot. I don't really. Can I close? Yeah, you can close out of it, I think. And chat. Oh no, it's here. Man, so confusing. I mean, this is, for me, like, to be honest, this kind of stuff's really confusing, because you've obviously got the kind of recapture thing at the bottom right, so that might put people off. I mean, I know that you can change or you should be able to change this position. It's always best to have it there, but it might just be conflicting between the chatbot and that recapture notice. But this home page, I mean, you can't really scroll down. It's just the page, which I think is interesting. I'm used to kind of just going on a site and scrolling, but the fact that you can't, I think, is quite nice. It's like a breath of fresh air in a way.
Hang on a minute. You can scroll. I had that same problem, but what I had to do was refresh the website, because I did think that as well.
Okay. Then do you know what that might be? I don't know if that's to do with the chatbot, or if that's really strange. Yeah,
I did getting rid of the chatbot as well. It was sticky for me.
Yeah, that's really, really weird. Okay, so I mean, that just shows you, for like, literally, if I landed on the site, and obviously if there's a lot of information that you've got a lot of content on this homepage, and I think the homepage layout looks great, but if I get stuck there and I don't know what to do, I might not ever notice, and it's all like that wasted effort getting a nice layout to the homepage. So it's really strange. But obviously, I like the design of this. I really like the fact how you can switch between the feedback here. I like how you put it further down as well. You've got the latest posts here. So I think, homepage wise, it looks very sleek. In terms of, a web design company, this is the kind of stuff that I want to see personally. But let's have a look, because you offer SEO as well. So I'm just wondering, what these service pages are like. And you've got a video here. Obviously, I know, Paul, you do a lot of video stuff. Why can't I click it though? That's what I'm not sure about. Consider fixing it. Maybe you haven't created that yet, but if it's live on that service page, people are going to expect to click it. So I'd get that sorted out. Maybe it's just me once again, but we've got the pricing at the bottom here. So that shows a lot of transparency from a business perspective. So, people kind of know what they're getting into, which is nice. You've got the contact form down here. And I think, right off the bat, you've got the address, name, address. So your NAPs down here as well. Let me just see if the socials are going anywhere, which they appear to be, which is good. And yeah, I mean, right off the bat, I quite like it. Just last thing I'll do is just look into the blog, just see And I think with these kind of things, you're trying to get the featured snippets. I think with a kind of these blog post titles like that. In the words of Phil Collins, I like that. Yeah, I think these blog pages are nice. I think it's quite sleek. It's like minimalistic, but has like stuff on it, if that makes sense. I think it's just the layouts look really nice, and obviously you've got images that's of you and your team and stuff, and that's really great to see. And yeah, I'm quite happy with that, Craig. What do you think?
I think in the grand scheme of things, the website looks really good. It's what I would expect from someone like Paul, in the industry, and a modern, fresh-looking website. Now your connection is secure here, but if I click on your blog, it had connection not secure a minute ago. What is the domain? Not sure what's going on with that, but it said it wasn't secure. But one thing that I would critique about the website is I absolutely hate that big thing that pops up in the bottom right-hand corner. I think it's too big and overbearing and not easy to get away. That's the only thing I would really critique in terms of the look of it. I think the website is very professional, modern, to the point. I'd love a website that looked like this. And when you start to look at the off-page side of things, well, the rankings and everything else, Paul also has very good rankings, for web design, Cambridge, Newmarket, which is where he's based, SEO and all that kind of stuff. So in terms of rankings, I would always be concerned because it's a .marketing domain name. Can you rank that well in a competitive market? And, you're ranking well, so clearly it works for you. You've got a nice DR of 61, which is a fair amount of power, traffic value of 20,000. With someone who has a DR of 61, I would be expecting a lot more in terms of organic keywords. But or I think you could get a lot more keywords out of that. I think you've done a decent job here. The keywords that you do rank for, are clearly related to your business. And I think the referring domains that you've got as well, you've got your usual Crunchbases and your Cambridge network, so you get a mixture of local business-related stuff, sociallypresent.co, and a whole bunch of other stuff, which I'm going to assume some client stuff and various other bits and bobs. So you've got a decent DR. The DR, though, and the amount of keywords does concern me. I'm not sure why that would be. I don't know if you've been trying some DR manipulation stuff. It doesn't look like you've got a whole bunch of Google domain names pointing to it there. But I think certainly adding more content and capturing a hell of a lot more than you already are is something you should be doing with the website. And I know, as an agency, you're going to say, well, it's just time. I don't have time to do it. And that's the same when I was an agency. Time to work in your own website is really hard. But I just think someone with a DR61, I would be expecting to rank for thousands of keywords rather than hundreds. I think the website's got a lot of power. And for me, the only thing I would say is try and add more content, targeting more areas, because obviously the power's there to rank for a lot more stuff and generate a lot more revenue and inbound leads, which is essentially what you're potentially looking to do. But a great website, very hard to pick too much in the way of flaws with it. Great design and it's just a personal thing that I think that chat thing at the bottom is just a pain in the backside. And just I found it quite hard to get rid of. So that's the only thing I would really, really comment on, to be fair. I think it's a great job. Other than that, so if anyone wants a nice modern looking website, Paul is your man. Check it out, flock.marketing.
I think it's also just a maintenance thing that you've got to do, Paul. I think it's, you've got, even though you don't rank for that many keywords in comparison to your DR, which is quite high, a 61 DR is really good. But I think, it's really laser targeted. And if you're ranking number 2 for your main kind of keyword that has was it like 15,000 search volume? I mean, you're going to get leads all the time.
You might only need to rank for 200 keywords. Paul might be saying, I actually turned down 90% of my inquiries. What the hell are you fools talking about? But the way we've got to look at it is there room for maneuver? Is there room for scale and growth and stuff like that? And of course there is, but you might not want it. And ranking where you are may bring you in way more leads than you can even handle. So as I say, it's good to know, but just anytime, as I say, you see a DR of 60 plus, you're like, expect that to rank for a good few thousand keywords.
I think he could do that easily, though. I mean, it's just like, obviously he even mentioned he put a lot of work into that ranking for Web Design Cambridge, and I think you've put in that work and you've kind of got good results from it. And I think obviously if you just had the time, or you wanted to add more content in there, build some more links consistently, and it will just make it harder for your competitors really to ever catch up with you. So it's a kind of climb to Mount Everest in a way, and you're basically towards the top. Your competitors are here, but you could like really reach the kind of top point if you wanted to, which you may choose to in the future. You may choose not to, but in terms of where you are now, like you're in a really, really strong position.
One thing I would say though, Paul, you're not number 1. You're in number 2. Get that number 1 slot. We don't want to be talking to the second best guy in Cambridge. We want to talk to the number 1. But good job overall. I'm only kidding. Next website we're going to have a look at is Bravo BJJ, which is Ahmed Dar's website. So let's see what the hell.
Is that Bravo? What? I'm so confused because I typed in bravobjj.com and then bravo.bjj and nothing's come up. So am I having to guess what the top level domain is?
We'll skip by that one from now. If you can let us know, Ahmed, we will come back to it.
If you want to paste the URL, just do it and put like a dot. So like do a space dot and then whatever the TLD is, and then it'll just be easier for us.
Ashton Lobo, do you think site speed actually matters, or is it a myth? While analysing, I did find numerous sites with horrible speed ranking in the page 1. Listen, what you're going to find, Ashton, is there's going to be the websites that you look at which are in a really niche market that are sluggish, slow, and everything else. And they can rank number 1, but when you're in a competitive market, and say we're all in the SEO industry, you've got myself, Itamar, Paul, Andy Woolley, and several other guys all going for number 1, and we've all got similar content, similar backlink profiles. Google is going to give the guys that loads the fastest some kind of benefit for that, and even if they didn't, just say they didn't and it wasn't a ranking factor, it's the user experience, the click-through rate, and all the other stuff that indirectly, if Itamar's takes longer to load than Paul's, then Itamar's going to get more of the clicks and more of the engagement, which is a ranking factor. So, I think it's a ranking factor. I can't categorically say, John Mueller told me so and that's it. But common sense would tell me that it's a ranking factor. And also, those user metrics and engagement, if something takes long to load, they're going to be off and on to the next website. And, you will be able to argue that you see crap websites ranking number 1, but, there's going to be a whole bunch of other crap websites on there.
Yeah, I think as well, just, when you ask, is site speed a myth? Like the reason why we bring up site speed when we audit these sites is because we think about it not just from an SEO perspective, but it's about, will people actually want to stay on your site and convert? And I think that's like, there's no point ranking number 1 if your site's terribly slow and no one wants to stay on it and no one wants to purchase anything or convert. So, that like site speed is not a myth. And like Craig mentioned, it's just common sense. If a website loads quickly, it means that people are happier. It means that they engage more, they're on the site more, which means that, and Google can see all of that. Google knows exactly how long you've been on that site. They know exactly what you're doing. So they are going to reward it. If they understand that that particular site is getting a lot more engagement as compared to a site that's slow and people bounce off, what's Google going to think? So, sometimes it really is just a common sense thing. It's not more about, this person says one thing, this person says another thing. You just need to think of your users. And obviously, if we do want to take what Google have said, they're saying page experience will be a ranking factor from 2021. But they're saying that because they feel like too many people probably just aren't using common sense and they're thinking that site speed isn't important, which it most definitely is, not just for search engines, but for your users who I think, it's more important than search engines, because if you rank number one, but no one goes to your site, then what's the point? You just got like bragging rights for being number one. But anyway, yeah, site speed is not, it's not a myth. I think, yeah, let's fight. Are there any more sites that people have put down? I don't want to get off on a tangent.
Let's not jump too ahead too quick. Michael Jenkins, good to see you. Andy Woolley wants to rank for Digital Enigma. Enigma, whatever. Will you also audit e-commerce websites? We can have a look, but we obviously don't have time to go in depth in e-commerce websites. But yeah, we can have a look and give you some feedback. Now, Ahmed, you said you pasted the URL. Kindly check. Sadly, bud, we cannot see your URL. It's not coming up unless we know what the domain is. Like, you can simply type it out, name.com or whatever it's going to be. Type it out with spaces. What you said before, we cannot find, and we've tried a couple of different variations. If we don't get it today, we can look at it next week, but you're going to have to ensure that you don't sit there and say you pasted it when we can't see it, because we can't audit a website we can't see, and we don't want anyone getting frustrated. But we do have someone who has been able to give us their website, and that's Santiago. 42southfilms.com. Do your worst. So go, Itamar.
I love that. That's the passion we need. Do your worst. Let's have a look. And I've got this up here. So it's let's see, 42 South Films. So this is a video production website, and obviously video production. I like the design of it. Let's scroll down and see. We help businesses get results from their marketing through video content strategies. That's okay. I don't know if that's maybe a bit too long for a sentence, but it's okay. You've got the kind of trailer video embedded here. You've got some of the work that you've done for people. You've got your blog post there, contact form, then your NAP. I mean, it's a very, when you think of a template for a website homepage, I think you tick pretty much all the boxes. There's no massive CTA though. I don't see. You've got the contact form, obviously, you've got the links, but the whole like above the fold bit is just this kind of video that's auto playing over here, and the navigation. I wonder how that will look. So when we're on, okay. I mean, I think for a navigation bar, that may be a lot of space. That's like, just over halfway of my screen size just for the navigation. You could maybe kind of scale it down a little bit just so you can see more, I suppose. But let's just have a look in terms of this. I mean, these blog posts are very, very plain. I don't know where you're ranking for at the moment, but I mean, I wouldn't start a blog post with a question like why in capitals. You need more imagery, especially video production. There should be videos or some kind of imagery in every single post that you do. I think that is really important, just because of the type of website that it is. And, you've got your social links there that work. You've got the films that you've done, and obviously I expect videos here. This is on Vimeo, or I think hosted there. But yeah, I mean, there's not too much to critique on my part. Craig, you got anything to add?
Yes. So obviously the website looks nice. It's what I would probably expect from a filmmaker. A lot of visual stuff going on, severe lack in text, which obviously then has an impact in your SEO. Now, obviously, you're very good at videos, and you've got your kind of stuff on the homepage and stuff like that, and that's fine for the homepage. When it comes to your story or your blog or whatever, overcoming sales barriers, for me, absolute waste of time. No one's going to read that. No one's interested in overcoming sales barriers, or reading, your personal opinion on that, because you're a video maker, and what you want to be doing is being found for like video production company, London, Kensington, or areas like that. They don't want, they're looking for a video guy. They don't want to hear about sales barriers. So I think with your blog posts, you need to be a lot more laser targeted, because if we look at your website in terms of rankings, you get very little DR. You get a handful of links, and that's something that needs to be worked. You've got stuff from Vimeo and various other bits and bobs, but in terms of organic keyword rankings, you've only got 3 here in the UK, which is pretty much, you don't even rank for your own brand name. That's something that I would always encourage you to do, because 42 Films has 300 search volume. Now you're in position 13 for that, and that's your business name. So who the hell is in position 1? So if I go to 42 Films, who's this? And who are these guys, and who are these guys? They're getting all the traffic for your brand. You need to overtake them. And if you can't do it with your website, start to look to use your Twitter, your LinkedIn, and everything else. But I think this has got potential to be a new website. That blog post was only done in June, but I think it needs to be a lot more focused towards keywords. And obviously, I'm not talking about the homepage. The homepage can remain as it is, but your blog page, what I would be looking to do is be found for everything that people are searching for when it comes to what you provide as a service, rather than you telling people where to start with a video, because no one's going to look at that. Or you might get something from this, the unexpected benefit of video testimonials. That may be a long tail keyword that brings in a bit of traffic, but you need location specific stuff, and a whole lot more than the 3 blogs that are on there. Can't emphasize enough, you cannot rank for a search term without the content being in your website. So if you turn around and say, well, film production companies at Kensington gets 100 searches a month and I'm getting nothing, of course you don't have a page targeting that search term on there. And that's me loosely just guessing on what the search terms are going to be. Do some research, find out what the competition are ranking for, and start to blog about that. And rank for your own bloody business name as well. 42 South Films. Make sure that your Twitter, your LinkedIn, and everything else that you can get your hands on ranks well for that search term as well, because clearly as a business, there's people searching for you. You get 300 people looking for your business every month, so you've clearly done good work and you're known in the area. Make sure you capitalize on that first and foremost, and then go on and add a lot more content, and I think you'll be in a lot better position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's not good enough, I suppose, to have, because if you've got a beautiful site, which I mean, like the homepage looks slick, it looks really good, but if no one can find it, then it's like, isn't it just a wasted effort? You've got to be ranking, especially for your brand name. So definitely building a lot more links, creating more content, as Craig said, more specific to the kind of services you provide. And then at least make them more engaging, add some multimedia. You're a video company, right? I would expect there to be a video on every single blog post, right? So, make the most, use your strengths. And yeah.
as Gary Patterson says, there's virtually no text in the homepage. So, yeah, just remember, text is the important thing from an SEO point of view. But Andy Woolley is also saying, add a load of snippet films to their GMB page plus write up. Do all of that kind of stuff as well. These are all useful tips. While we are, I'm going to try Ahmed Dar again. Ahmed Dar is saying, type Bravo BGG, it will be number one.
I did that, and
while you look for that, I'm going to answer Michael's question. What is my thoughts on the Ahrefs audit tool? It's not bad, but I prefer SEMrush's purely because it goes more in depth. And it looks more visually appealing. But the Ahrefs audit tool runs once a week for me, and it does as good a job. I just don't think it's aesthetically as pleasing as others out there, but they're all crawling the same stuff. So hopefully that answers that question. But did you find Bravo BJJ?
I mean, I'll share my screen and I'll tell you what I'm seeing. Because, Bravo BJJ, when I type that into Google, the first position is a Wikipedia page. And I know for a fact that you don't own wikipedia.org. But the second one is bjjheroes.com, which is, I'm a bit confused why you said Bravo BJJ. I don't know if you meant this, because everything else that's down here, Bravo BJJ, there's a Facebook page. I don't know if that's yours, but where's the website? This is the only site that I would assume could be what you're on about. BJJ Heroes. If it is,
let us know if that is. But obviously, we can't waste too much time finding it out. We just simply need to know the URL. Relatively simple and straightforward. Just give us the website and we'll look at it. If not, we can't. But Paul Hodgkin, or Hogden, has already ditched the chatbot, which we will be interested to see if that makes a difference. We do have time to have a look. Oh man, kilts and stuff. We're going to have 2 looks at websites because there's one about kilts and stuff.
Right.
And since Itamar keeps calling me a cross-dresser, I've got to have a look and see what's going on. So, but first we will have a look at Ashton Lobo's headphonecritics.com.
All right, so best wireless earbuds for working out. And, I see what you're doing there. You're trying to... So this is... all right, okay, I see. So is this an affiliate site? It should be, yeah. So, right, so we've got an affiliate site here. And we've had quite a lot we've reviewed loads of sites that are affiliate sites. But, obviously, I think if people land on this page, I feel like it's good so that you've got these kind of main posts at the top here. And that's what people want to see if they're looking for, critiques of headphones, like best wireless earbuds for working out. You go to this page. Yeah, you've got bits of text, full review, latest price. I think, call it standard, call it whatever you want. I actually have these. These are really good Power Beats. But call it what you want. I feel like it's quite a standard affiliate site. I mean, you've got lots of content here. You've got lots of pages from what it looks like as well. Just looking at this, does it look like it's, is it real people running this site? I think this is okay that you've got their images, you've got people there, you've got their names and stuff. That's always important, especially when you're running affiliate sites, so that people get, an impression that it is actually legitimate. And in terms of your blogs, how frequently do you post? So July, June. So you post once a month. That's what it seems like. And yeah, I mean, there's not too much to say. It's quite a standard affiliate site, but I think, it's all right, to be honest, in the way that it's been laid out. Craig, what do you think?
So what do I think about this website? As you say, standard, looks like a standard affiliate website, but it's great to show the previous person, the 42 Films guy, what sheer fucking volume can do in terms of content.
Mm-hmm.
You look at this website, started probably early March, and he has literally smacked. Now, bearing in mind, Ahrefs has shown you the organic traffic is this. I can guarantee it will be double or treble that. Now, look at the sheer growth in terms of organic traffic and organic keywords. Now, this guy's not building a huge amount of backlinks. He is building some, but this guy has went all out on content. Now, to say he's adding one a month, he may have backdated stuff to make it look that way, but this guy has added a lot of content recently, which I would do, and is ranking really well in America, and I think it's a great job. To get that kind of level of scale in, a 6-month period is really good work. And, it just shows that, one, you've got the ability to scale, two, the content's good, all the on-page is good. I think you could do a hell of a lot better with your backlink profile, because the DR is only 5, pushing that a little bit harder, and I would expect even more growth in this website. But overall, I think what the guy's done is a tremendous job, and I think it clearly shows the 42 Films guy that, with just some serious hard graft on content, that you are literally going to be able to rank, for a hell of a lot of different keywords. And we do have some other feedback from the guys there. Andy Woolley, Headphone Critics, some videos to blogs and reviews, more UX, otherwise nice. Killer content via long tail keywords. Hats off to you. Paul is saying, I'd like to see the top of the page tell me what I can expect, telling the best budget buys, quality, and what the site is going to do for me. So these are all improvements you could do to polish up the website as such. I think that's these things are always good to do. But we will have one final website, because it's kiltsandstuff.com. So let's have a look at this, because why not? Kilts.
Yeah, this is your area, Craig, so I'm not going to say too much on this site, but let's just have a look. So, I mean, I know nothing about kilts, but obviously this being an e-commerce site, and you've got, wedding, kilt rentals, all of this kind of stuff. I think it looks, for what it is, for like this kind of e-commerce store, I think that the layout's quite nice. You've obviously got popular products, which is good. You've got obviously recent blog posts as well. I'm just looking into, I've got nothing. I've got no knowledge about this kind of stuff, so I might have to look when this session is done and learn more about kilts and all of that. But, you've got a lot of content on your blog post. You've got the category pages, which I'm just always against. If you look at the amount of, /blog, /category, /salty, I'm just not a big fan of these category pages. Could do without them, because it's just more URLs for search engines to crawl. But, you've got the NAP there. And I think that's all I'm going to say, Craig. It's off to you.
Cool, man. Cool. So I'm going to share my screen. So kilts, I think the website looks good. I think it's a massive market for you guys. So this guy's based in America, and, Americans do for some reason love coming to Scotland to play golf. They like kilts. They like tartan stuff. They love whiskey. They love all these things. And it's a massive, massive market. Probably a lot more than you would probably imagine, Itamar, because you like to probably suggest that kilts are a skirt and all that stuff. But, having a look at the website in general, it has been around for a fair number of years, always done consistently well. It's kind of, it's not that much further forward than it was 3 years ago, but they're getting a lot of traffic and a lot of business from that American audience. and they rank for 17,000 keywords. This is the thing that will probably surprise you, Itamar. They rank number 1 for kilts over in America, right? Now, there's 12,000 people a month searching for that stuff. Kilt, 46,000, Irish kilt, and there's all these other different types of tartan that go on kilts, which, the search volume is good and great business model. So, I like it because it's Scottish, but I think, the website is clean, tidy, easy to navigate. You've got a whole bunch of stuff on there. You've got your sporrings and everything else. And, there's not too much to, you've got your what's kept in the sporring and all of that kind of stuff. I'd actually be dreading, I'm going to go to the kilts page because I want to know if they've got what's wore under the kilt as one of the questions. And I want to see what the answer is as well. But I don't know if they'll have that. But they probably don't have that on there. But, this is a good website that gets a lot of traffic, a lot of sales, very hard to critique. Certainly you don't dominate the market as such. Your DR is only 36. Your keywords are slipping. Could you do better? 100%. I think things have become stagnant in terms of your backlink profile over the last few years. Maybe April time, May time, someone's had a bit of time with COVID and whatnot to put a little bit more effort in, which has obviously resulted in a little bit more traffic again. Again, more keywords. So all of that kind of stuff correlates to keep doing more link building because you've done a bit while probably COVID's been on and given the website a little bit of love and attention, and that has shown that things are climbing up. I think you've probably got a reasonably good business model, and that's why it's kind of became stagnant. Don't let it slip away like that. That's craziness. I think with a website, it's good to keep adding more content, find keyword gaps, make sure that you are consistently building links. Even if you are doing well, you don't want to start having these slumps, because I think we can all agree that someone's done some work here and you've climbed, you've got a whole bunch of traffic back. Also, it might be time of year as well that may impact that. But overall, good website, and I think you just need to be more consistent with it. And hopefully you sell more stuff and maybe a bit more text, as Paul Hogden is saying. Did anyone else see my URL in the post? It looks like my boys missed it. Gary, we didn't see it.
If you type in a URL on the live chat, I don't think it goes through. So you'd have to actually remove the dot and maybe put like bracket .dot, close bracket, and then the top level domain.
But yeah, Sam, great website, and good luck. But sadly, guys, we are out of time. Gary Patterson, if you quickly put your thing in there, we can have one last minute, unless you're in a rush, Itamar.
No, I'm all right.
So let's do Gary's if we can get it in there, because we do seem to have missed it for some reason.
Okay. He said he'll try again next time.
Try again next time. So we'll do it again next week. We're back at the same time, 1:30 next week. Make sure you do give us a like, subscribe, comment, all of that kind of good stuff. And hopefully we will see you guys again next week for more websites and more insults and more of Itamar's bad jokes. So we will catch you all next week. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.